Hi, this is Brianna Hansen, and this is our final project for CSS Zen Garden for Advanced CSS. And I was in a group with Marilee Austin and Dixie Cravens. This is a continuation of Dixie's video that she did. And as she stated, we were going for a Relief Society bulletin board theme. So we've got some flowers on here, and we've got some feminine touches and pastel colors, and then we've got the burlap background. So it looks like the Relief Society bulletin boards that are at the church on the sides by the chalkboards. So we had to go through a number of different steps to get this to lay out how we wanted. So like Dixie said, we had a lot of positioning errors and problems that we had to figure out because we didn't realize when we designed it that, like, for instance, the archives is not by the links, they're down below. This header right here, this was our hardest paper to get where we wanted it to go, because the beauty of CSS design is a header too, and this is the summary, and they're not near each other on the HTML. And so we had one coming in from one direction and one coming in from the other direction. So getting everything to line up how we wanted was kind of tricky. So, and Dixie did our breakpoints, and she did a really good job with the breakpoints. It took some figuring. You had to kind of look at each paper and figure out the breakpoint that would work good for everything. So we wound up having to do, I think, 4 or 5 different breakpoints to get everything lined up how we wanted it to line up. But it wound up going and working well, so that turned out good. So the other thing we had a lot of is we did a lot of background images or pseudo elements in order to get our design to work. So all of these pins are a background image with an animation. So it looks like when you hover over it that you're pulling the pin off to pull the paper off the bulletin board. And then we've got like this ticket down here moves. We've got pseudo elements. So this is background right here. The green is a pseudo element. And then the end of the ticket's a pseudo element. And then also to do the ribbon, we had a before and after pseudo elements. We had a number of those we had to add in to get the papers and look that we were going for. So another difficulty we had was figuring out as a group how to have 3 different people working on the code and having it mesh into one code that everybody could access the updated code. So that took some working to figure out. So as far as the favorite part of each project, Dixie kind of talked about that already. Marilee's favorite part was doing the SAS, and Dixie liked the developmental tools, and I like doing the transforms. I was going to talk a little bit about, I think, what each person did really good at. So Marilee did all our SVGs. I don't know if she thought they were fun, but she did a really good job. So this is actually an SVG right here, and the header for the main logo. And then she also created our pins, and she did a really good job on those pins. So she was our SVG expert. And then, like I said, Dixie was really good at the break points and figuring out what we needed to do with those. And then the other part I enjoyed was doing the positioning and figuring out all the little details of, just moving something 10 pixels this way, or moving something with a translate X or a translate Y, or doing the positioning on all these different elements. That was fun to do, even though it took some work because we had a bunch of different breakpoints. It was still fun to get, I think, for all of us to get this project done and see it laid out how we wanted it laid out and have it look good. So we were pretty happy with how it turned out and how it matched the mock-up. So that is our project.